Let's have another example of a problem involving analysis of variance. Let's take a look at this problem. A study has been carried out to compare the United Way contributions made by clerical workers from three local corporations. A sample of clerical workers has been randomly selected from each firm, and the dollar amounts of their contributions are as follows here. Use ANOVA and the 0.05 level of significance in testing the null hypothesis identified in part A. And actually, the null hypothesis is we have to be the one to identify that. So, is this problem for ANOVA? Pause the video and try to see if the instruction of using ANOVA is indeed applicable to this problem. So let's see if this is applicable to ANOVA. As you might have recalled, ANOVA has just one requirement. We have more than two groups. And we have one, two, three groups actually. So since we have three groups here, we can say that this is for ANOVA. So we can now go to our steps of hypothesis testing. So we have step 1, we have HO and HA. Since it doesn't like there is a claim, then we will not write it anymore. Now, in the previous video, we wrote it actually in symbols, which is quite easier most of the time. However, in ANOVA, sometimes it is easier to write the null and alternative hypothesis in sentences because we can just simply say that all means are equal. And not all means are equal. So we can just simply have that as our null and alternative hypothesis. So now we can now do our steps 2 and 3. So now we will now go to data analysis here. Then you can see there we have ANOVA single factor already chosen, so we click OK. And again, first we select our input range. And we have to remember that they are grouped in columns. Now, as you can see, there is a blank. It's unavoidable now to choose that blank because we have to choose it together and they have to be side by side when we choose them. So we will have this one. So they are grouped in columns. Labels are in first row as check. The alpha is 0.05, so we change that now. And our output range shall be placed here. So when everything is all set, we click OK. And there we go. So now we can have our step 4. But first, let's explore the summary table. As you can see, the firms have different averages. This is already 200, while the others are in the 100s. However, firm 2 has the largest variance out of the 3. So with that, let us see if the test was able to say whether they are the same or not. So now, I'll just use the space here. Let's have step 4. So let's take a look at our ANOVA table. And as you can see, we have here our p-value of 0.04. So p is equal to 0.04. What is that compared to 0.05? Of course, 0.04 is smaller than 0.05. Thus, we will reject HO. So therefore, our conclusion is that there is sufficient evidence to reject HO. So therefore, the means are not all equal. Are not all equal. And again, that's how you do analysis of variance in Excel.